What's going on, New York Yankees fans? Welcome back to another video. If you guys haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. Turn on that notification button so you get notified when the live stream pops, video drops. Appreciate y'all coming back for another sad-ass Yankees video. With that being said, one quick channel update. If you guys have not seen the Twitter already, I didn't post it on Instagram, but if you haven't seen the Twitter already, channel update. Boys and Big Apple Podcast will be moving to Fridays, 8-10 p.m. We thought it was better for our schedule. And, it's also less competition. But with that being said, Friday night talk kind of seems very exciting. I know Saturday night would have, but, I happen to go out on Saturday nights and just leave that a little bit for my social and personal life. But with that being said, excited to start on Fridays. It's going to be the same spiel. We're going to try to get more call-ins because I know the last couple of episodes have been basically us three chattering back and forth. So with that being said, let's talk about this sad-ass Yankee team. I don't know how you can go out there and buy at the deadline now, especially after, we should have won 3 of the 4 games. We had a lead in 3 of them. Actually, all of them, if I'm not mistaken, because we had a lead in the second game, and we blew that one too. Even though it was 1-0, it's still a lead blown. But unbelievable. Unbelievable. We should have won yesterday. We should have won the first game, and, it was 3 out of 4 that we should have taken. 3 out of 4, but this Yankee team has no fire. When I think it was Devers, he hit his first or second home run in game 2, I want to say. They were pushing him to looks like a shopping cart or some sort of wagon through the dugout, and he was basically, That's not something you're going to see on the Yankees. And it's funny to me because last night I was watching the White Sox and the Brewers, and I wasn't necessarily watching all of the game. I just, I got home. It happened to be on ESPN. So I looked at their records. Both of their records are above 500, of course, and they're better than the Yankees, of course, and they lead the division. And don't give me this, the Central's always garbage. Don't give me that, please. Give me that another time. We're not talking about football here. We're talking about baseball. So what is, the common factor of this? And a lot of the analytic bugs out there, OPS, this, that, and the other thing, this fault, that fault. Because the last game is turning the Yankees fan base against each other in terms of whose fault it is, because someone's head needs to roll. I'll explain my kind of thoughts at the end, but you realize something, that Tony La Russa, he's an old school manager. We can make fun of him all we fucking want in terms of, the Yerman Mercedes thing, the unwritten rule. Yeah, his team is winning right now. Does he care about OPS? No. Craig Counsell for the Brewers, I don't know if he's analytic. But I'm pretty sure he don't care about OPS. Why? Because A, that doesn't translate to wins, and B, his team is winning the division as of right now. That's my point in all this. For all the analytic bullshit that people are pulling online and, analytics. Stop. Please stop, because some of that shit doesn't translate to wins. But we have to get to the recap here. I would like to go over the sad-ass recap. Game 1. Absolute fucking disaster. They were winning at first, and once again, they lost. But with that being said, the Yankees wasted an opportunity with an Odor single in the second. Torres and Brantley struck out, and then Greg Allen flew out. Then in the 4th inning, Gleyber Torres, he put his own RBIs on the board, got the Yankees on the board with a ground out. Is 1-0 in the 4th. 55-minute rain delay. I actually caught the tail end of the game. I was seeing family, but I caught the tail end of the game. It was still like the 7th. Or the 6th, actually. I think it was the 6th when I got back to the hotel. And Sal Romano was pitching. I'm like, this is a guy from the minor leagues. And he didn't do that bad from what I'm gathering. He made his Yankees debut. Didn't do that bad. If I'm not mistaken, he pitched .2 innings. Gave up a hit. Didn't get any strikeouts, but he got his first hold of the season. He was with the Cincinnati Reds before. So, shout-outs to him there. Did decent in his first Yankee outing. The Yankees can actually use some bullpen now. I'm pretty sure he's still on the roster. With that being said, in the 7th inning, Tyler Wade made a key error loading the bases, or close to loading the bases. Enrique Hernandez, who is one of the Red Sox Yankee killers as of right now, he hit a sac fly to center. Red Sox tie the score at 1-1. Then in the 8th inning, the Yankees started a whole big rally. Giancarlo Stanton singled. The Yankees took the lead. Gleyber Torres hit another sac fly, so basically going into an out, but, basically getting the RBI there. It's 3-1. Luis Cessa. Before this year, I was not crazy about the guy. But A 4 or 5 pitch inning, you cannot go wrong with that. Bogarts, Martinez, and Renfroe, the heart of their lineup. But of course, he could not stay in. Because of the analytics, we had to get the save. Fuck the bullpen, fuck the fact that we have an off day, that stuff. Chad Green blows a save. Enrique Hernandez with 2 on and 2 out. 2 out hitting, something the Yankees can't do. 2 out, 2-run double, 2 left field, 3-3 in the 9th. You go top of the 10th. Gardner hits a sac fly. Yanks take the lead in the 10th. Then the bottom of the 10th, obviously you start off with a runner on second. And it's funny because once again, I'll say this like I've said before. The Yankees make their advantage their disadvantage. They score minimal runs in the top half because of the runner on second, or they don't score any. And bottom half, the Red Sox or whatever home team combats that and they win the game. We're like, 3-7 in extra innings this year? That's a great record to have. With that being said, Brooks Kriske goes wild. Him and Rob Brantley, that's just a minor league duo right there. I don't know why Kriske keeps getting called up. He was super wild. Rob Brantley couldn't block balls to save his life. So one of them actually got away, and it wasn't Brantley's fault. It was actually Kriske because it bounced before it even hit the plate. And run scored. Then Hunter Renfroe hits a sac fly. 5-4, 10th inning. Yankees lose. Some extra stats to pull up here. Hook started, then it was Taylor, Hernandez. Then it was Ottavino, Rios, and Barnes. Ottavino gave up the 2 runs in the 8th. He would later do something similar in Game 3. With that being said, Jordan Montgomery, only 1 run of support through his time. And once again, that's sad because one run through the last 6 starts of his. He ain't the perfect pitcher. He's not freaking Nolan Ryan here. But come on, can we give him some support, please? With that being said, Sal Romano, then Lucas Ludge. I'm pretty sure he was the one that gave up the 2 runs. Actually, no, it wasn't. Lucas Ludge, then Sessa, then Chad Green, and then Brooks Kriske. I don't know why I said Ludge was giving up the runs. Because they, for some reason, have some credit as a blown save, but that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's the totals, and there was an error on Wade, as I mentioned. And with that being said, the Yankees were 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Is that a shock to anybody? I don't think so. With that being said, let's go to the next game. I don't really have much notes for this game, but it seemed as boring as some of the other games that the Yankees have played this season. In the top half of the second, the Yankees got on the board with a Brett Gardner double. They took an early lead, 1-0. Then the Yankees wasted the rest of the base runners. Surprise, surprise. Then what happened was Eduardo Rodriguez left the game with migraine symptoms in the second. Hopefully he's doing okay. I know he's had some trouble with the COVID kind of aftermath. He had some heart issue or something. Hope he's doing well. I never wish bad on arrival in terms of health. With that being said, the Red Sox, they blew up Garrett Cole in the 5th inning. Happened with a Xander Bogaerts sac fly, then a Rafael Devers 2-run home run. It was 3-1 from there. Then the Yankees waste a first and second opportunity with 1 out in the 7th. No surprise. Then, bottom of the 7th, the Red Sox take advantage of that and say, hey, we can, combat more runs on the board. Rafael Devers, 2nd home run of the game. Score is 6-1 in the 7th. Rugen Odor, doubles to left field, shortens the deficit in the 9th inning, but what is it for? Yankees lose 6-2. Yankees 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position, 11 left on base. Odor was caught stealing, so obviously maybe he's not the guy to steal anymore, Aaron Boone. Maybe you ought to use your speed guys correctly, maybe like Florial, maybe like Greg Allen. I don't know. But once again, it does start with getting on base, and I guess Odor had a decent series other than the 2 errors in the 3rd game. But Cole, not great at all. 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, 1 home run. Nestor Cortes came in, and when I heard that Cortes was the pitcher when Devers hit his 2nd home run, I was completely surprised. 3 earned runs, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, 1 home run and 2 innings pitched. Then Justin Wilson came in for the final inning, which was the 8th inning, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. So, once again, another boring game, another Yankee loss. Can't be surprised with that one. Then you go to the 3rd game, which is more exciting. We actually won this game. I was surprised. A Red Sox fan actually commented under one of my Twitter posts and said, we're sweeping you guys. You guys suck. I said, I agree with the second part. The first part, we're at least winning 1 game. And look who's right again. So, once again, I was right. But with that being said, that doesn't matter right now. Yankees win 4-3, and they were honestly lucky that Adam Ottavino just came in and shit the bed for the Red Sox, because if Eovaldi, he was throwing, 100 pitches, something like that maybe. Eovaldi was doing so good for the Red Sox. Let me take a look at how many pitches he threw. He threw 100 pitches in 7.2 innings, so they took him out, and then Ottavino came in, and he shit the bed, as I just mentioned, and he gave up 2 runs, 3 hits in .1 of an inning pitch, and then they put in Taylor. With that being said, Eovaldi did good against the Yankees. 7 hits, that obviously was bad for him. Then you look at the earned runs, which is 2, but 8 strikeouts. He was wheeling and dealing for a good couple of innings there, and I'm necessarily not surprised. You look at Tyon, he had 7 innings pitched. He actually got credited with the win for once. 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Jonathan Loaizaga, 2 hits, and 1 inning pitched. That was the bottom of the 8th. Bottom of the 9th, Aroldis Chapman came in, and, well, he gave us a heart attack. There was a double at the end, runners on second and third, but luckily, I think it was Plawecki at the plate or somebody struck out, and the Yankees won from there. He got the save, his 18th on the season, 2 strikeouts, 1 hit, and 1 walk, and an inning pitched. But if you want to go over the chronological recap, leadoff triple for Kike Hernandez in the first inning turned into a mini inside the park home run, probably a little league inside the park home run, which obviously was bouncing off the wall. I thought it was going to be gone, but it was off of the Green Monster. Then Odor tries to throw into LeMahieu at third. He overthrows it, of course, and that's how the Yankees started the game, 1-0. Then Eovaldi K'd 4 Yankees in a row from the first to the second inning. No surprise, because the hitting wasn't there at the time. Then Kevin Plawecki doubles. Red Sox take a bigger lead in the second inning, 2-0. Then Tyon escaped the jam and only gave up a run. Obviously, once again, dealing with limited run support as usual, even though it is through the first 2 innings. The Yankees wasted a creative Florial base hit, but once again, they didn't do anything. Double play and a strikeout to pretty much end that inning. I think it was maybe the 4th or the 3rd where they wasted that, but I wouldn't be surprised either or. Once again, they just wasted it. Then Ruben Odor commits another fielding error, Duran to second, and Rafael Devers flies out, and Duran scores. Once again, I guess Odor didn't have the best of games this game. Not surprising, but he's been better of late. I'm not going to sit here and defend him, but I'm just going to outline the situation. The Yankees wasted a DJ LeMahieu double in the 6th inning, so it's kind of a pattern here for the Yankees that did they actually, deserve to win this game? I don't think so. They're just lucky that Adam Ottavino shit the bed. If it was somebody else coming in, if it was maybe, Taylor came in earlier or something like that, they would not have done this great. But with that being said, going into the 8th inning, Gardner singled, Florial scored, Yankees tie the game with a Ruben Odor double in the 8th inning, then Gleyber Torres singles, Yankees take the lead. All those runs with 2 outs, so they're lucky on that standpoint that I won't be able to rip them. But I guess they're just lucky, possibly, or they just were actually in that moment full of passion, because that's hard to say for the Yankees, honestly, all season. Chris Gittens left the game after falling down after a hit in front of the plate, and then obviously he was out at first. He left, I think it was some sort of a muscle strain or something like that. He had Achilles issues. Hopefully, actually really wasn't an Achilles issue. It was some sort of a muscle strain. It wasn't, so hopefully he's doing better. He's on the 10-day IL now. So, somebody said to me, LeMahieu's at first, that's better than a rookie at first. I said that's not necessarily true because the lack of depth. Who's going to play first base after LeMahieu? What if he gets injured? We can't necessarily be bringing up and down and up and down and up and down guys. That doesn't work like that. With that being said, in the 8th inning, Bogarts and Devers singled, but Loaizaga gets out of the jam. That's going to be a big factor in the 4th game in terms of my points, in terms of whose fault it is and stuff like that. Then Rob Brantley makes a dumb error on the bases. I don't know how you are in baseball or actually on a major league team with that type of error. Gonna be honest with you. You were not blocking balls the first game, and they make this stupid error. So basically, I forget who was at the plate, but, at this point, I don't know if it may matter. Actually, look it up here for a short second. Who was up at the plate? It was DJ LeMahieu. So DJ LeMahieu flies out to right field, and Brantley, thinking it's 2 outs, he's rounding the bases, going home, when everybody's waving, get back, get back, get back. And what happened, of course, is that, he was across home plate. The Red Sox took their sweet-ass time and threw to first because he left early, obviously. With that being said, it was a double play. Then Chapman gave us a mini heart attack in the bottom of the ninth, but the Yankees escaped it. With that being said, the Yankees won their only game in Boston by a score of 4-3. Now we get to the final game. This one's going to be interesting, and not in a good way. So, Yankees waste the LeMahieu double in the first inning. Then Rugen Odor singles. Greg Allen scores in the third, 1-0. Gardner pushes a bunt after a Torres double, and he's out at first, but, the sac bunt always works, or at least most of the time it does. That's for the analytic bugs that don't want to hear that. Gio Urshela singles, his first game back after the COVID list, 2-0 in the fourth. Then Rugen Odor plants one in the right field seats, 3-0 in the sixth. That was the first home run for the Yankees in the series, which was a big surprise. Due to the lack of offense, it's usually, oh my God, it's only on the home run. But I guess it's situational hitting this series, not just, lack of hitting home runs or whatever reason you want to come up with. So they left the bases loaded in the seventh, which obviously is not a great thing. Then in the eighth inning, Sanchez tripled, which I was surprised. I'm like, chug it out, Gary, chug it out. He did have a slow, I would say, start to getting on the bases because he thought it was a home run. Everybody makes that mistake. I'm not going to rip Gary on that aspect. I can't really. But with that being said, Yankees leave the bases loaded in the seventh. Going back to the eighth inning, I kind of went out of chronological order there. Gleyber Torres singles, 4-0. Gleyber steals a base, but it only, hurts the Yankees even friggin' more. He got picked off at second with the inside move from Brandon Workman. I understand if you're on first base and you're facing Andy Pettit, or if you're facing Jordan Montgomery, you're facing somebody who has a good move, but someone with an inside move, are you double stealing there? I don't think you are. I don't think there was a sign to double steal. Unless you're stealing, I don't know why the lead is that big. It's just stupid overall to get picked off by a righty with a move like that to second, with the inside move. Another stupid error, but obviously contributed to the loss. We could say or we could not say, whatever. So we go into the eighth inning. Herman, up to this point, I forgot to mention, wheeling and dealing. No hits whatsoever. So Alex Verdugo breaks the no-hit bid in the eighth. He gets a double, and of course they take him out. We'll go over that at the end and talking about whose fault it is and who's not and whatever. Hunter Renfroe doubled. Verdugo scores, 4-1. Vasquez singles. Renfroe scores. Hernandez doubles. Vasquez scores. Plawecki grounds out, and then Bogarts hits a sac fly, 5-4. Yankees fall short in the ninth and are 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Now, who will I say is at fault for whatever happened yesterday? Here is who I will say is at fault. I think it's both faults, my opinion. I think pitchers are being way too coddled these days. And I understand, Herman, he hadn't gone over 90 pitches, the whole season. You know what? They're being coddled, okay? We wonder why the bullpen management is so down in baseball and whatever. Why everybody's trading for relievers and not starters at the deadline or whatever the situation may be is because of the analytics and the bullpen management. And we all know that Boone has not been great at bullpen management. And here's how I'll blame Boone as well, is because Jonathan Loaisiga had a shaky eighth inning towards the back end of the eighth with 2 outs in the third game. So obviously that was a warning sign, okay, he might be a little shaky. And obviously the timing wasn't fucking good enough. But I'll blame Loaisiga at this standpoint. He was shit. He gave up all the runs. He was credited with 4 runs. Herman was credited with only 1, of course, and he didn't even pitch in out of the inning. So they had to come in and bring Zach Britton in. He pitched the whole inning. He was fine. But that just ruins the start of Domingo Herman. With that being said, though, would you have taken Corey Kluber out if he gave up a hit in the bottom of the ninth inning at the pitches he was at? Garrett Cole, he pitched at 128 pitches. So you could make both sides of the argument. Well, Loaisiga was shit, and also Aaron Boone, bullpen management, and lack of depth we have on this roster. Thank you, Brian Cashman. Herman, why are we coddling pitchers? And Loizaga, once again, mini shaky outing for him, even though he didn't give up any runs in the prior game before. So there, you could blame both sides of the ball. But whatever fault it is, whoever fault it is, why we lost, it's not going to matter because we're going into the race series, probably getting our ass kicked. I mean, it's funny, but it's not that a lot of people, after the Phillies series and after the Red Sox series, don't sleep on the Yankees. Meanwhile, they'll delete the fucking tweet and the fucking post after somebody calls them out and says, hey, you just lost 3 out of 4 to Boston. It's funny. I never got my hopes up. I never even said the Yankees would win one of these games in terms of in-game. I would say maybe they would win 1 or 2. But in terms of mid-game, I wouldn't say, oh my God, the Yankees are definitely going to win this one. No, because if I said that, they would probably lost all 4. But once again, they could have won 3 out of 4. But once again, bullpen, hitting, management, all that type of shit. Giancarlo Stanton, other than that single in, the first game? Absolute disaster this series. Absolute disaster. People want to talk about, oh, well, he's a power hitter. He's good for this team. Strikeouts don't matter. You know what? He was swinging at pitches that didn't even hit the freaking plate. They bounced and then hit the plate. So you want to give me this, strikeouts don't matter. Really? Because he's not fucking hitting the ball. We're going to talk about batting average, talk about consistency. You want to go in your analytics and shit that doesn't matter and shit that doesn't translate to wins. Please, talk to me on another occasion. Actually, come on the Boys in Big Apple podcast and debate me. I encourage you to. So with that being said, guys, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, turn that notification button so you get notified when a live stream pops video drops. Appreciate y'all for coming back. Obviously, once again, the channel update, Boys in Big Apple podcast, has been moved to Fridays, 8:10 p.m. We are streaming for the NBA draft as well. I asked Luca about it. He is probably going to invite Clutch Beatball on the channel as well. It should be exciting, like it was for that one Knicks win. Happy to have him on the channel, obviously. It's great to have guests on and interact with some new people every time and the people they bring over from their channels in terms of viewers. So with that being said, guys, peace out, see you later, and stay cool.